AWS Identity and Access Management Best Practices. Let's take a look at IAM User Management Best Practices. Root user access. As a best practice, it is recommended that the root user not be used for everyday admin tasks. Initially, when you first create a new AWS account, use the root user's credentials to create a primary IAM admin user. Then, securely lock the root user credentials. For any user, including the root user, apply the best practices discussed in this video. Enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. For extra security, require MFA for all users in an account. With MFA enabled, users have to enter their credentials and the MFA-generated challenge to complete the sign-in process. So, if a user's password or access keys are compromised, your AWS account resources remain secure and protected due to the additional authentication requirement. Password complexity. Implement an organization-wide password policy that ensures users create complex passwords that meet requirements such as upper and lowercase letters, at least one number, special non-alphabetic characters, as well as preventing password reuse and enforcing a minimum password length. Access keys. Access keys provide command line access to AWS resources. Access keys should never be embedded within your applications or shared between programmers, even if they are on the same team. When your applications require access to AWS resources, configure the program to assume an IAM role and retrieve temporary security credentials that can access those resources. Rotate credentials. Passwords and access keys should expire periodically and on a set schedule. Therefore, if a password or access key is compromised, you limit the time a hacker has access to your AWS resources. Use the AWS Identity and Access Management console to directly set how many days before a password expires. Rotating access keys can be managed and automated by using AWS config and its managed rule, access keys rotated. Remove credentials. IAM credentials and access keys for users that leave the company or team should be deleted. If users have not used their credentials in several months, it might be best to disable them initially while clarifying their need for access. Confirm what type of access is needed. If the AWS console is the only one they use, then delete any programmatic access keys. If they need programmatic access or command line access only, then disable their AWS console password. AWS IAM roles. Best practices. Using IAM roles. You can use IAM roles to delegate access to applications, users, or services that need to connect to AWS resources. IAM roles eliminate the need for access keys and passwords, which can easily be compromised. IAM roles grant temporary access for a limited amount of time, which lowers the risk of your credentials being compromised. For IAM users, create separate IAM roles for different job tasks, and allow them to assume those roles to perform those tasks. EC2 instance profiles. For applications hosted on Amazon EC2, a best practice is for temporary credentials to be delegated to the application by using an instance profile and assigning it to the Amazon EC2 instance. Instance profiles are similar to IAM roles. Can be assigned directly to one or more Amazon EC2 instances. The temporary credentials are rotated automatically for you. The IAM role assigned to your EC2 instance can be changed without incurring downtime, making it easy to grant permissions and reducing application development time.